Why is it so important to put Merrick's son on the throne?
Ferelden was first united by Calenhad, the Silver Knight. For 400 years, his descendants have ruled Ferelden. That was the heritage we preserved from the Orlesians. And it is the heritage I will fight for as long as one of Calenhad's descendants still lives.
Ugh.
Without that to unite us, we could scatter back to warring Terniers.
I don't think that's true. You're starting to get... Arl Eamon, you're starting to get on my nerves. Like, really, he's... I don't know. I just never agreed with that. I never agreed with the idea that just because you're of blood, you automatically need to be the next leader. Which I know is how things were back in the day. I know that's how they were. But from Angelus's perspective, he thinks that's total BS. He doesn't have to agree with it, even if he is not satisfied with that's just the way things have always been. That's just the way things always were. Because, you know what? The elves were slaves. And, you know, people could have said, no, well, that's just how it is. That's just how things have always been. Elves have always been slaves. Elves have always been, you know, fifth-class citizens. And Andus is like, no, things like that, if they are as ridiculous and don't make sense, they should change. They should change. And that might be another reason why he ended up siding with Balin, because I think Balin thought that the caste system was ridiculous, and Balin is probably going to do away with the caste system. So, yeah. Let's talk about something else.
We certainly have a great deal to plan.
Yeah. What do you think he's doing in the alienage? Oh, yes, in the alienage.
Maker knows what that man is capable of now.
Yeah. I've got work to do.
Of course. If I might make a suggestion, go speak with Anora. She will either be a powerful ally or a powerful enemy, and the sooner we know which she is, the better.
I think it's so cute, Arl Eamon, that you think I'm on your side about putting Alistair on the throne. That is so cute. You are in denial. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not an Arl Eamon fan, mostly because he's just... I don't agree with his ideals. I just don't. And that's just me personally. It's just my opinion. Al, I'm sorry, buddy. I feel bad, Al. Here I am. Arl Eamon and I were talking about this, and we're not asking for your input whatsoever, and that's just not fair. So I wanted to talk to you. I want to hear where you're coming from, buddy, because I care about you, Al. I want you to be happy, and I want you to decide what you do with your life.
I haven't been here in a while. Ask away.
I have some questions.
Of course.
Well, I guess Al doesn't have anything to add right now. He might later. Hey, it's Riordon.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
Did you know Duncan very well?
We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only where he ever let himself down.
I was hoping I could learn a bit more about the Grey Wardens.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths.
How many wardens are there?
It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is.
Have you ever been to the fortress in Weishaupt?
Once only, and I'd rather not go again.
Oh.
It's far, lad. And very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight darkspawn like you and me, but they're shaped by the winters there in the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way.
How were the Wardens founded?
It was near 1200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Ander soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, though none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas.
Why has it been so long since the last Blight?
Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between Blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them, and it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations.
I guess that's all for now.
The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs. Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
What are your plans now?
When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike.
You're going alone? Should I go with you?
If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies you've gathered of a commander.
I need to get going.
Good luck to you, then. We will have to talk again when the Landsmeet is more settled.
Sure.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
Yes. I was wondering, are these your papers? The ones, the Grey Warden documents that we found in Arl Howe's estate, his bedroom?
I wondered what Howe did with them. Yes, these are my records. Names of the dead I recognized at Ostagar. What was left of Duncan's recruitment records. Some encrypted copies of the joining ritual that I retrieved from our Denerim vault. Those at least ought to have stayed private.
Wait, what vault?
It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Nord Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel.
Oh, okay.
Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries, for the defense of Denerim.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Alright, I really should be going.
Good luck to you, then. We will have to talk again when the Landsmeet is more settled.
Sure. Alright. Let's see. We should talk to Queen Anora. I think she's over here somewhere. Oh, there's Arlena as well.
My lady, she will be forever grateful, Warden.
Hey there, Toots.
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason.
You better.
My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne.
Are you proposing an alliance?
That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot.
She's good. I have to admit, like, she just laid it out on there. If you do this, this is what'll happen. If you do this, this is how people will see it. She's good, I have to admit. I know there's a lot of people out there who can't stand Queen Anora. I never saw it. I always thought that Queen Anora was a strong woman, a strong ruler. I don't understand why there's so much Queen Anora hate, and I think part of it is because people love Alistair to death. And believe me, I love Alistair just as much as the next fanboy or fangirl who loves Alistair. I really do. But that does not necessarily mean that I believe that Queen Anora would make a horrible leader. You know, that's totally independent of how much I care for Alistair and how much I love Alistair. So yeah, I don't know I don't know about anyone else, but I think Queen Anora makes sense. I mean, she seems like she knows what she's doing. I would not be upset in real life. I would not be upset if she stayed as the queen, you know, and as the ruler of Ferelden. Because so far she hasn't shown any reason why she would be a bad ruler. What happens to Loghain if you are queen?
He is my father, as well as a great general, who has served his nation well until now. If there is a way for him to live, I would prefer it.
Yeah, Angelus doesn't know about that. Make your case. Why should I support you?
For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Caelin's queen. As much as they loved Caelin, all of the Banon knew this to be so. Caelin was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler.
Yeah.
I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity for us both. What say you then? Your support for mine in the Landsmeet?
She's very eloquent, and she makes very valid points. I mean, Angelus thinks this is a no-brainer. And then clearly Alistair has vocalized numerous times he doesn't want to be king. He said that every single time it's brought up. He doesn't want to be king. Anora wants to be queen. She seems to be a perfectly good candidate. Alistair could be a perfectly good candidate, but he's not a good candidate. He's not a very good candidate right now, at this immediate moment. To Angelus, it's a no-brainer. Why would he make Alistair make such a big life decision when Alistair doesn't even want to do it? Like it really is. I'm putting myself in Angelus' shoes, everybody. I'm role-playing his character from his point of view, not from, because me as the player, of course it would be cool to put Alistair as the king, you know, and if you make Alistair king, then, you know, that affects the rest of the series, not only in Dragon Age Origins, but also in Dragon Age 2. Of course I would love for Alistair to be king, but if I'm looking at this through the eyes of Angelus, who is Alistair's best friend and only wants what's best for his best friend and what would make his best friend happy, he's not gonna go for forcing Alistair to be king, you know. I agree. You'll have my support in the Landsmeet.
That is good to hear. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father.
Yeah.
That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me?
Do you need anything?
No. And while I know your concern is hardly disinterested, still, thank you.
Well, you know, if you're gonna be the next queen, I gotta try to have some sort of rapport with you, so I'll try to be nice to you.
You return. Is there something you wish to discuss?
I have some questions.
Ask me whatever you like.
Does it make you uncomfortable siding against your father?
Of course it does. Do you think me heartless? But how much worse would I be to calmly stay at the side of a man who murdered my husband?
Yeah, I mean, Angelus has a personal vendetta against Loghain, obviously. He cannot stand the man. Angelus can be quite vengeful. You know, he can definitely be quite vengeful. Revenge is not beyond his capability. But at the same time, Angelus is also an understanding of family is important. And he understands that Queen Anora is the daughter of Loghain. So, you know, he's torn. I met with Kaelin at Ostagar. He was a good man.
He was, and far happier in the field than in the throne room. He was reckless, impetuous, and charming. Had he not been king, he would have made a dashing rogue for a band of players. We were a good pairing. He would not have wanted the burden of ruling any more than I would have liked remaining the silent wife in my husband's shadow.
That's actually a very valid point. We should tell people what really happened to Kaelin.
They would not believe it, most of them, even from my lips. Loghain is the hero they've looked up to their whole lives. Far easier to believe you or me a liar than him a murderer and tyrant. That's why it will be critical to find some way to discredit him before the Landsmeet. We must have proof of my father's crimes for the bands, or they will never believe us.
Why did Loghain leave Kaelin to die? Do you know?
Kaelin was so idealistic. The world was his storybook, and he was the hero. My father is different. He's an idealist too, but he knows what idealism costs. They often clashed, but never seriously, never for long. Kaelin would always come round to father's way of thinking eventually. And then the Blight came. Kaelin dreamed of uniting all the nations of Thedas against the Darkspawn. It was a dream. He wouldn't surrender. What my father saw, however, was the boy he had swaddled inviting Orlesian troops back into the land he had fought to free of them. And for once, my poor, foolish husband wouldn't back down.
Yeah, Angelus at this point is really disgusted with prejudice, and he can clearly see that Loghain has a bit of a prejudice against the Orlesians. And that doesn't sit well with Angelus. I'm sorry for your loss, my queen.
It was more than just my own loss. But I thank you all the same.
See, you know, it's there. I like this. I mean, it seems that Queen Anora and Angelus, you know, they seem to be cool with each other, and I like that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Another question.
Ask me whatever you like.
What do you think will happen after the Landsmeet?
Do you want me to try my luck at fortune-telling? There was an old woman who read palms in the village of Warren when I was a child. She told me that I would have 10 children and be bald as a winter heath when I grew up. I can't say I put much faith in foretelling. What will happen depends much on you, Warden. But you certainly knew that already.
Of course. And just because I want to, you know, appeal to her, I'd like to understand Loghain better, if possible.
Well, he was once a farmer when he was a boy, if you can believe it. I never could myself. He's useless with plants, for one thing. I remember my mother once asking his help with a sick rose vine. My mother oversaw the rose gardens personally. He touched it. No more than that. And it shed half its leaves like a dog with mange. She never asked for him to help with her roses again. He bought her another one, though. He carried it back from Denerim with the branches overflowing his saddlebag. Despite the thorns tearing him bloody, he wouldn't let anyone else take it. He wanted to be the one to present it to her. My father has his faults, Warden, but he is far from common.
Okay, Angelus now almost regrets asking her that question, because now, you know, Loghain is starting to sound more human than he would. It's so much easier hating someone when you don't hear stories like that about them. So much easier to hate someone. Did he plan on overthrowing Kaelin before Ostagar?
I'm not sure. I had no inkling of my father's plans until Kaelin was already dead. I would like to think that my father planned for the worst, but did not truly decide that Kaelin was a lost cause until that moment in Ostagar. The alternative is difficult to imagine.
Why would he have ever trusted Arl How?
Trust would perhaps be putting it too strongly. My father knew what How was, and while I despised the man, I knew that father relied on his political mind. I expect my father thought himself above being influenced by the snake. Truly, I wonder how many of these acts stemmed from How and not my father at all. We may never know.
That's a good point. Why doesn't Loghain back down?
Because he believes he is right, Warden. He thinks he is the only one who can see Ferelden out of its current crisis, even if it is one he helped engineer. My father is capable of remarkable blindness, but it stems from his love of Ferelden. That is the saddest part of all, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, the more I hear about this, the harder it is to hate the man. Is he truly beyond reason?
I hope not, but I fear it is so, yes.
Another question.
Ask me whatever you like.
Never mind, I should go.
Then I wish you luck, Warden.
You too, my queen. You too. Maybe if we play nice with Queen Anora and she becomes the next ruler, maybe she'll, you know, like, help us at the alienage a little bit. Okay. There's a few things I wanted to do before I ended today's session. Are there any quests in particular that I need to... Love letters... Oh, return to the Nod Noble. I have to do that. Warning, Brazilian Forest, termination. Maleficarum. Oh yeah, we've got to go back to the Mages Collective. And then... Oh yeah, we have to do all these, deliver the Signet Ring, and... Oh yeah, we can go back to the... Oh yes, you can go back to the alienage. Excellent. I'm sure Angelus would love to do that. Sighard, missing in action. In the depths of Arl House dungeon, you found the missing veteran Rexel. He has been driven mad from torture and imprisonment, but is now free. You should report back to the Chanter in the market district for a reward. You've killed the lowlights that inhabit the back alleys of Denerim. There are more left. And then... Let's see... The levels of description... Dernal Garrison Redcliffe, Patrick Grinch Lothering... And Varel Baron in Denerim's alienage. Okay. Alright. Let's do that real quick. And we also want to go to the vault. We just came with Rory and Alistair and Ogren, so let's bring Morrigan.
Indeed.
Again, because we don't use Morrigan nearly as often. And, Stan.
Yes.
And Leliana.
Indeed.
Come on, guys. Come on. We probably have to do some leveling up, too. No, just Leliana. Leliana, let's bring up your constitution. And... Excellent, she's now a master archer. Perfect. Yeah, we gotta go to the Mages Collective and go to the Chanter board and all that good stuff. So let's throw up a haste. Turn in some things. Turn in some quests. Chanter Rosamund.
And after much sweat, blood and toil, her labors ended, and the world marveled at what she wrought.
They shall be named Malefica.
On.
Nope, no other Chantry board requests.
They shall find no rest in this world or beyond.
And the...
The client is very pleased. Come back soon.
Thank you.
Right.
No current quests. Perfect. And now we're gonna go to the tavern. Nod Noble Tavern.
What can I get you, stranger?
I finished a favor for one of your interested parties. He nods discreetly and makes a note of the recognition you are owed. Nice. And I leveled up! We got 4 sovereigns for that. Very nice. I'm gonna increase my strength because I want to start being able to carry heavier weapons. And what do I want? What do I want? Let's increase my stealing. Survival. Yeah. Oh, what do I want to level up? Oh yes, Whirlwind. The character flies into a whirling dance of death, striking out its surrounding enemies with both weapons. Each hit deals normal combat damage. Yeah. Let's see. Move this over. Okay, good. Do we have any more?
What can I get you, stranger?
More things that we can, Oh, false witness. D has need for assistance. There are those who seek to impugn upon my good reputation. Certain aspects of business may have required unpalatable acts, but these former associates were just as much a part of them as I was. Their supposed redemptions reek of opportunity, not conscience. These loose tongues need heads to match. I need someone who is free to travel and knows what to do when traitors are found. The reward will be appropriately handsome. Alright. Ah, Sighard. This is the guy whose little boy was being tortured by How. The dirty, dirty man you were, How. How dare you do that to a poor innocent boy who had a really smoking hot body.
Whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life.
I would leave no man to suffer at Arl Howe's hands. Especially the yummy specimen like that.
When I saw my poor boy's legs, I only wish Howe still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin?
All I want is for you to speak out against Loghain.
Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Benorn. I'll speak with her about this at once.
Thank you. That is perfect. How about Ban Alphastan? The one.
I'd hoped to see him while I was in town, but he's made himself scarce. Every time I've called at the Chantry, he's been away. He answers none of my letters.
That doesn't sound like Ermenric. I'm sure he's merely busy.
Perhaps. I'll call at the rectory again tomorrow.
Yeah, Ermenric was the poor fellow that we found, praying inside his jail cell, also at Arl Howe's estate.
May I help you?
I was asked to give you this. Give her the ring.
This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head.
You might ask Loghain.
Loghain? What does my brother have to do with him?
He's in the dungeon of the Arl of Denerim's estate.
A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't remember what it is that she ends up giving us. Crafted by the Circle of Magi. Spirit Ward, maybe? 7 gold discs, each bearing a star sapphire, make up this necklace. The clasp bears the mark of the Formari. Shifting figures can be seen dimly in the depths of the gemstones. Plus 10% spirit resistance, plus 10% spirit damage. It's okay. I think I'm just going to end up selling it. It's okay. And last but not least, I wanted to go to this vault that Riordon told us about. This Grey Warden vault, which I think is in the... Is it this way? I think it might be this way. Maybe the warehouse? Ah, here we are. This is what we're looking for.
On it.
Yes. Chainmail boots. Duncan's shield. The insignia of the Grey Wardens is emblazoned on the shield, which once belonged to Duncan. It was found in the Grey Warden's cache in Denerim. Didn't Alistair mention something about wanting something of Duncan's to remember him by? I think this is something we need to give to him. He should have it. High Constable's mace. Not bad. Not bad. Not as good as some of our other stuff. Ooh, a griffin's helmet. And a map of the Anderfalls. A relic of the high-flying past of the Grey Wardens and legendary aerials. Griffins now lost to the fight against the Darkspawn. This helm is constructed of very unique specifications of battle. When equipped in a set with a griffin's beak, the character becomes immune to extra damage from flanking attacks. I'll take it. Scaled boots, and we've got a lot of stuff in here. Leather armor. Large flawless lightning crystal. Oh yeah, this needs to go to Shale. Leather boots. Heck yes. Thanks, Riordon. I will definitely put these items to good use. Or at least sell them. Alright, let's go back to the estate real quick so I can give Duncan's shield to Al, and then also equip Shale of her new flawless victory crystal. And then we'll call it a session. If my computer will load, that is. Loading. Okay, here we are. Shale, where are you? Where are you, my dear? Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Flawless lightning crystal. Good. Small flawless. Nice. Okay. Hey Al, got something for you, buddy. I think this would be best under your care, Al.
This shield, it's Duncan's, isn't it? That's his crest.
I thought maybe you might want it.
Thank you. Truly, I had no idea his shield wasn't with him. This is perfect. I don't know how else to express my gratitude. This means a great deal to me. I can't believe you remembered it at all.
Of course I remembered. Come on, Al, we're best buds.
I'll treasure this. Thank you.
Alistair approves. Yay! And with that, Alistair is plus 100. Everyone is almost all plus 100 with Angelus at this point. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, everybody. I think I'll end it here. So thank you guys again for joining me on this session. And until next time, love yourselves and love each other.